All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me Luca up top 11-5. Um, I'm I haven't played a lot. I don't play a lot of Luca usually, especially because he's always on a slate with maybe Jokic or AD. Same thing applies today. He's in play. Kyrie's playing well. Klay Thompson needs his 12 to 15 shots. That's what makes me a little bit hesitant to Luca, but obviously he's a stud in a great matchup against the Bulls. We're playing a lot of lineups. He's a must play. Right after I spoke up Trae Young, saying how dependable he is, my man went out there and gave us 11 fantasy points. I know he didn't finish the game, but you know what? Trae Young's a dog. I don't have no problem going right back to him. If anyone's game log watching, that means that his ownership will be a little bit lower. SGA has been decent, but the team has been so good he hasn't have to go. He hasn't had to go crazy yet. That hurts him in fantasy wise. I'm looking for players that's going to put out maximum fantasy points. You feel me? Give me LaMelo Ball playing with no care in the world. Morant. You see Morant looking explosive. That's what I was waiting to see. And he's in a spectacular matchup against the Lakers. He just lets any and everybody have great fantasy nights. Fire up Morant. Curry. I can't play Curry. He didn't even start the second half. Steve Kerr needs to be neutered. Brunson's in play against Atlanta. Amazing spot, Atlanta. It's a track meet. Booker's in play, playing better. Cunningham looks good against Charlotte. Fills up all the boxes. Donovan Mitchell, I like him at this price. He's been playing well. The team's been playing well. If one of them gets it going, it's going to take away from the others. That's the problem with Cleveland. I like playing the bigs. They don't need to score to get fantasy points. They can get blocks, steals, rebounds. I prefer the bigs over the guards. But if the guards get hot, they can nuke the slate like Garland did last night. Kyrie's in play. Halliburton. He had one of his staple games. 25 points, 12 assists, 1 block, 2 steals. That's why we used to play him when he used to do that nightly. Now he doesn't do that nightly. If Halliburton is back, which I doubt he is, he's absolutely in play. But he's 8K. I could take the risk at 8K. Hold on one second. All right. All right. We got Halliburton, Jamal Murray. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Jamal Murray hasn't looked like Jamal Murray in months. Going back to last season, I'm gonna have to 7,400 against. So you know what? I'm gonna pass. I'm not that guy. It's a 10 game slate. I don't have the spots right to play Murray and pray to God that he comes back to his true self. He's only averaging 30 fantasy points a night. I don't have to go into his game log. I could clearly see 30.8 fantasy points a night. Either he's hurt or he's washed. One of the two. Van Vliet, he hasn't had to be aggressive. You know, that's fine. You don't want to be aggressive, that's fine. I'm just not going to play you. Like, this is his best games, 36, 38, 35. Like, if that's your ceiling, my man, I don't need you. Fantasy points are at an all-time high. You need 450 on FanDuel. You need 400 on DraftKings. 3 years ago, I was getting takedowns for 260, 269, 275. I was getting complete takedowns. Now, 275 on DraftKings doesn't even sniff green. Listen, you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to wait for news. Last night, I swapped the lineups 3 or 4 times after lock. Why? Because you have to be able to update your lineups with the new information. Chicago, Levine was out, swap in Io, swap in Kobe. Westbrook started. So you gotta be able to pinpoint value, plug it in where it makes. That's the only way you're gonna win now. This shit ain't no game anymore. It's not a game. All that pivoting we did, I had a 3rd place finish on DraftKings NBA, 4th place finish on DraftKings NBA, and I had some other top 10 finishes on NFL, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Like, you gotta be able to pay attention to news. If you're gonna make your lineup an hour before lock and then go back to work or go cook dinner or go get the kids ready for bed, guess what? You have no shot. You have no shot. Why? Because the NBA is operating right now the way it does after the All-Star break, right before the playoffs start. All these guys fake injuries, resting, spot starting these guys on the bench. That's minimum. Queta started last night. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Cornette, when we all thought it was Cornette. Like the NBA is no joke. You got to be locked in. If you're not locked in, you're gonna be throwing away all your money. Let's continue. Um, get Van Vliet out of here. I can never get Giddy right. I swapped Giddy last night after the Levine news, and he was straight pitiful. No wonder OKC ain't won him. What's happening? Giddy. Giddy's so off my computer didn't want to load him. 30 points, 20. What are we doing, my man? You played Orlando, which has a tough defense, 46 fantasy points. You played Memphis, decent defense, 45 fantasy points. You go up against Utah and play and score 29 fantasy points. I don't know if this shit is real. It can't be real. This can't be real. Garland went off, absolutely in play, 7K. Suggs is in play. I love Suggs against Indiana. Gets a lot of steals. He got a dog in him. I like guys that have the dog in them. Pause, that sounds crazy, but you know what I mean. I don't want guys doing cardio and guys that are going to sit in the corner with their hands on their hips because they're not getting the ball. They're bad for fantasy, and there's a lot of that going on in the NBA. We're now starting to pinpoint the haves and the have-nots. You see what I'm saying? And it's showing because last 3 or 4 nights we've been cashing. You know what I'm saying? So we're starting to pinpoint who to play and who not to play because some of these guys from last season still haven't shown up. We're on our second week, second or third week, whatever the fuck it is. Kobe White's in play. He looks better without Levine. Giddy's still in play. If Levine is out, he's in play with or without Levine, but just be very careful with Giddy. Rozier's in play. Ivy's in play against Charlotte. Absolutely. Reeves started slowly last night, but he's still in play 6,100. I don't know what's happening with Podziemski. I didn't watch the game. I'm not going to speak too much on it. All I know is the alert said Podziemski and Hield starting for Peyton and Curry. A minute later, it said Podziemski to the locker room feeling ill. I have no idea what that's about. I don't even have the energy to investigate it. I don't care. Whatever. Dyson Daniels is in play. Scottie Pippen is absolutely in play. Let me tell you something. Scottie Pippen, I would say this is a revenge spot, but Scottie Pippen clearly had he clearly had the problem with Darvin Ham and not, I don't think, the players. This should still be a revenge spot for him to show them what they missed out on. He's actually somebody that they need right now. Chris Paul's been playing low-key very well, 5,900. Fire his ass up. Alvarado's in play. I'm not on D'Angelo Russell right now until he finds himself. Jrue Holiday without Brown is different. He's in play. Tyus Jones is fine. Terrence Mann, that's not Terrence Mann. There's no way he's averaging 30 fantasy points. Trey Mann in play. 6-man for Charlotte. Pritchard's in play. They're getting him more incorporated. Westbrook, if Murray can't go, Westbrook is way too cheap. It pains me to say this. If Murray can't go, Westbrook is probably the play the slate because he's going to get you rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. And there should be a little bit of a revenge narrative against OKC. You know he harbors energy. Nemhard, Thompson, I'm not interested in. Does some know if there's no Levine? The rest of these guys you're probably not going to need, to be honest with you. Let's go to shooting guard. Brandon Ingram. All right. BI, 8.6, tough matchup. He's fine. Jaylen Brown, if he can't go, you firing up the C starting lineup again, plus Pritchard, plus whichever center they want to go with. Jalen Green's in play against the Spurs. He likes to drive a lot. Be careful with that because, Wemby could mess him up at the rim. Levine we'll keep an eye on. Brandon Miller's in play, but very fragile. I don't think I played this guy since. I haven't played this guy for a while. I'm probably gonna stay away from him. He's always in the locker room. Like that's his second home. Who else is here? Hero. I said if I didn't mention Hero, he was in play. Brandon Beal's okay. Buddy Hield. Oh man, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's for real. 6.3K. I don't care what the situation is. You got to play him. He's just been that good. You got to play him. Mikal Bridges 6K. He's fine at 6K. Jalen Wells against the Lakers. If he starts at 5,500, I'm fine with that. Mathurin's in play. He has a motor, but it could backfire. He's foul prone, and he needs to hit his shots. Braun is okay, 5,300. If that's your last man in, no problem. Champagne cooled off. We spoke about the Sumno. Caruso's a fraud. McBride if you're desperate. Boston if he starts. And no Moody for me because he plays for the infamous Steve Kerr. Tatum 10-2, still too cheap. Too bad that game blew out. Yeah, 2 games that game blew out. Fire up Tatum. LeBron 9.K. He's back to normal somewhat. I guess he was really sick. We got 55 and 52 last 2 games. And they need a win. So I expect LeBron to. And LeBron plays well against Memphis. So I expect Tatum and LeBron to be a spectacular plays. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on Brown. Wagner should be in a good spot because Indiana allows a lot of fantasy points. Jimmy Butler, if I had like $7,600 left, I'll probably just play Jalen Williams, to be honest with you. I can't play Jimmy Butler with a clean heart. I'm sorry, I just can't. He don't take this shit seriously. Who else is here? Josh Hart's in play, especially against Atlanta. Looks very good. Kuminga, I'm off on. Send him to China. Porter's in play. Hawkins, we'll keep an eye on him. Klay Thompson, no thank you. No thank you. He started out like he was going to be doing something, right? Yeah, okay. Who else? Hachimura, he started off a little hot too. He cooled down. Laravia, prefer him to start. Keldon Johnson, 53. I'd rather not, but what you going to do? Probably give me OG or Richard Share if he starts at 5K. I want a starter. I want a starter playing 30 minutes. The shit is no joke. What else? Who else is here? The rest of these guys I'm not playing. Boston is viable if he starts. De Silva's been starting, but his ceiling is what? 34 minutes, 15 fantasy points. 31 minutes, 18 fantasy points. Yeah, that's not going in my lineup. Strawther's in play. Gets a bump if there's no. I can't think. What's his name? Strawther gets a bump. Murray. Strawther gets a bump if there's no Jamal Murray. All right. Okay. Let's go to. We're gonna go to power forward. All right. If you're new here, welcome. Appreciate you taking time to watch my video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up the video. If you're struggling to cash, no problem. I can help you. If you don't have time to wait for starting lineup, if you don't have time to wait after lock and wait for updates, no problem. I can help you. I can send you my finalized, optimal, updated lineups in real time, right before lock and after I adjust it. Check out the Patreon link in the description. Check out the channel memberships right here on YouTube. Super chats are open. The Patreon is free the Patreon is free. I'll be posting the wins from last night. I think we have 4 top 10 finishes. And once you're in the Patreon, if you want to upgrade your membership to whatever tier fits your needs, then you tap in and then cash out. You feel me? What else? Anything else should be in the description. Let's go to power forward. And let's start to wrap this up. I know y'all got things to do, like go and do stuff and stuff. I was gonna say vote, but I'm not trying to open up those cans of worms right now. Anyway, uh, Zion. Zion against Cleveland. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think I really interested in Zion at 9,100 against Mobley and Allen on a 10-game slate when I could use 9K for LeBron, Durant, Jalen Johnson. Like there's a lot of other players I could use that money on instead of Mr. Zion struggling in the paint with Cleveland's bigs. So I'm gonna pass on that. I'm not saying he can't have a great night. He can, but you see in fantasy, you're trying to take the less stressful road to fantasy points. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to target underpriced players with great matchups. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Braun, we spoke about him. Durant's in play. Jalen Johnson's absolutely in play. He's priced up, but he's priced up correctly. If Trae Young can't go, Jalen Johnson should have a massive night, even though the Knicks aren't no pushovers. Siakam's in play at 76. Mobley's in play. I'm not interested in Jaren Jackson yet until when I see him back to his old self, then we'll talk. 35, 41, 20, 26 minutes. 45 in 31 minutes. 28 in 32 minutes. And the thing with Memphis is you got Ja going off. You got Scottie Pippen getting fantasy points. You got Jalen Wells getting fantasy points. You got Eddie getting rebounds when he's out there. You got Aldama getting points. What the fuck is there for Jaren Jackson to do? You got to watch shit like that too. As these teams get better, like real life better, the fantasy points from certain players are going to go down because there's only one ball. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing you got to be able to pinpoint and realize where the fantasy points are coming from. That's why I play a lot of Toronto, right? I play a lot of teams. I play a lot of games. I play a lot of players where I know where the production is going to come from. If you play Memphis and hold your breath and you're in a good spot, there's a high chance that the player you played isn't even the one that got all the fantasy points. That's the issue. That's what you got to be able to watch. Like the Knicks. I haven't played a lot of the Knicks. Why? You got Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, Josh Hart. They could all grab rebounds. Well, 4 out of the 5 of them could grab rebounds. A lot of them could pass. Most of them could. All of them could steal. Like, you see what I'm saying? They take away from each other's production. You got to be careful with stuff like that. Where were we? Miles Bridges. He needs to be studied. He's supposed to be averaging double what he's averaging right now. We got to keep an eye on Gordon. He has a calf issue. Sohan has a thumb issue. So we'll keep an eye on these guys. I don't want to play these guys unless they're 100%. The calf, that affects your mobility, jumping, running, obviously. Sohan, if the thumb was enough to keep him out the game, I don't want to play him unless he's 100% healthy. Aldama, if he starts, Tobias Harris is in play. Unfortunately, PJ Washington's in play. I don't think I want Horford at 51. Actually, I don't want Horford at 51. OG, if that's your last man in, I'm fine with it. I don't think he's played more than 18 minutes. Oh, shit. 11. My bad. Jaquez, if he can go, he's in play. You're playing at least 25 minutes. He's an okay play. He's not nothing. Jaquez is a guy you want to play if there's no Butler, no Hero, shit like that. What else? What else we got here? This is Javonte Green. No, thank you. I noticed he pops up on the optimizers, right? But he's ass. Let's continue. Eason's in play if you're desperate. The rest of these guys I'm not going to touch, to be honest with you. They started Robinson early yesterday. What did he do? 22 fantasy points in 34 minutes. That sounds about right. All right, let's go to center. Let's wrap this shit up and let's get out of here. Jokic must play. AD must play. Wemby must play. That's the problem with Luka. All right, let me backtrack. Jokic and Davis to me are better plays. You know what? No, they're all in play, but I kind of prefer Davis and Wemby on FanDuel because of the block upside. You get more points for blocks and steals. That's what I'm really trying to say. But they're all in play. The thing with Jokic with his doubles and triple doubles, his double doubles and triple doubles, you get a bonus on DraftKings for double doubles and triple doubles. So obviously all three of them could get double doubles, but Jokic is more likely to get the triple double, like he had last night. Got me? You feel me? All right, let's continue. Chet's in play. Like him, I like defenders a lot more on FanDuel because of the points. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. Chet, 85 in play. Sengun is fine. Vooch is in play. If Levine is out, give Vooch a bump. Cat against Atlanta, good spot. Bam, let's see what he did lately. He started off real sluggish, like he was still on his honeymoon or something. 59 and 47 last two games. I need to see more. I don't trust it. That's Miami. All right, I gotta wrap this video up. Jared Allen's in play. Turner's in play. No Draymond for me. I could play Durant against Charlotte. I always play bigs against Charlotte. No Capella for me. No thank you. I probably prefer Okongwu. No Nurkic. If Lively can't go, fire up Najee Marshall. No Jackson Davis. Missy if you're desperate. I don't trust Gafford to stay on the court. I think they might need Edie on the court. Maybe they don't really need him because it's just AD's the only true big, and you still have Jaren Jackson. Fire up Edie anyway. He's fine at 4,400. Whatever center starts for Boston, you can fire them up. If it's Cornette, if it's Quetta, that's if Jaylen Brown can't go. I don't mind Looney if you're desperate, but be very careful because it's a curl lineup. Adams is back in the fold, but I'm not interested. And you know what? My last center in that I'm interested in right now is probably going to be Huff. 3,700. Minutes are going to fluctuate, but if he gets over, 15 minutes, fuck that. I can't play him. I'm not going to do that. We're not doing that. I can't play him. I can't play him with a clear conscience. Listen, I've held y'all way too long. Sorry. Appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up the video. Check out the Patreon link in the description. Check out the channel memberships right here on YouTube. Super chats are open. That's about it. And I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.